these are the results. This is how you voted. 18% went for a players' representative. The club's representative got 46% of your votes. A fans' representative, 32%. And coaches, only 4%. Now, actually, while we were looking at that earlier on, Kevin Doyle made the suggestion you can't do it on Twitter. We can't put a fifth option in there. But all of the above would have been another option. And I suppose a combination of all four of those things would be a popular view.
Yeah, I think that's what Liam said beforehand as well. You know, people who are recognisable, people would trust, who would feel a responsibility to do well and do their part for the association. I suppose at the moment, if you look at the board and who's made up of, we probably don't know anybody, we don't know who they are. But they've been voted in there, and they've, you know, whatever way they've got there, I don't know. But you would like to think you'd have experience from all sides of football. The clubs one, is it League of Ireland clubs or junior clubs or whatever?
Yeah.
There's always an issue between the two of them, but you would like a League of Ireland to have a representative on there, women's football, men's football, you know, an experience maybe from outside.
Niamh O'Donoghue, who is on the current board at the moment. Yeah. Experience
from outside, maybe from another association. You know, lots of people in this country, as we said beforehand, live, that could add to that. I don't know how they're going to get there and how to get to that point and how they organise it. We have to get through all these investigations and committees and everything. It looks like it's going to be a long road, but to me that would be the ideal scenario, to get to that point, and that group of people then go through the candidates for the CEO role.
But time, Liam, is a factor, isn't it? I know that the FAI AGM is in July, which really isn't that far away. They can call an EGM beforehand if they want to speed up this process, perhaps under advice from Sport Ireland or the department.
Yeah, it has to start somewhere. It's such a mess, you know, to think that the whole board are going to resign. Shane Ross said today that the whole board are going. They're going. Two have gone already. John Delaney has stepped aside as in his new role. So the thing is, there's a vacuum there of leadership. So Sport Ireland will have to step into it, and with people in the FAI, probably with some of the outgoing board, they'll have to say, look, we need a plan here. Des Casey, who used to be on the FA board, he was also
very high at UEFA.
Very high UEFA executive committee. Now Des is of a certain age, but could it be that he could steer this in the direction that needs to be steered? And to go back to the poll, all those people or associations or elements of football need representation on the board, and it's up then to the chief executive to pull it all together and to be answerable to the board, not like we've had with the recent chief executive. I think he was calling the shots far too much. After all, he's an employee of the Football Association. He's not, you know, the dictator that turned out to be.
Didi, I'm putting you on the spot a bit. Can you tell me, just say, the German Football Federation and the ruling board there, how is that made up? Who is on that board? Like, would you... surely they're not household names, I assume, or no. What way have they come through to those positions?
There's a large representation from amateur clubs, which is a big discussion in Germany at the moment, that the professional clubs say that the professional clubs should have more representation, maybe the majority of representation. I think the main thing when you talk about a national football federation, that you've got people on the board who've got the good of the game at heart. I think that's the most important thing. You need people who don't do it for the sake of it. They do it because they're convinced it's the right thing to do, because we've got kids to develop. We want to bring kids through. We want to look after the... You know, I think the Football Federation got a responsibility towards society. It's not all about the football. It's about society to make kids play football, play sport, and in a way make them better people, or good people, because there's no better education than a team sport. And we've got similar things, you know, and this is the last thing, or the most important thing that I would say, because people say this evening, you know, this is a mess, and it doesn't look good. But other countries, Germany included, we had similar or the same problems than you had. And there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And this is a chance now to really put a new structure in place and bring the right people in who got one thing at heart, which is the best for Irish football.
And like, you know, Kevin, it's the largest participation sport in the country. And you know, as Didi said, like it is, for a lot of people, it's just about the men's national team or maybe the women's national team or the league. But there's so many other layers to this, and parts of that, you know, have been working well. And you hear, you know, people, particularly from club officials from outside Dublin, and they're saying, well, you know, the FAI looked after us, John Delaney helped us out with developments here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, and you have to listen to everyone. Like I was talking about, junior football in Ireland has one thought on how it should be run, and you know, League of Ireland teams would have another idea on how their youth setup should be run. So it's about getting everyone together. Everybody wants to do well. Everyone wants football to do well in Ireland. It's tough. It's tough out there for coaches to convince kids to come. It's getting harder. Rugby is becoming more popular. GA is always going to be very popular. So we are competing against other sports, and we need to be looking as professional an organisation, as well run as possibly we can, to get parents to send their kids, to make football an attractive thing to have your son doing. We have been, you know, we are the most participated sport in the country. I know in Wexford it's one of the biggest leagues in the country outside of Dublin, and there's a lot of people working very hard in the FAI and lower down in the leagues who are doing a very good job. But it just, at the moment, it's like a stain on everybody, and we just need to figure it out. And as G said, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. It happens in other countries, and now's our chance to put it right.
Liam, I saw Niall Quinn earlier on suggesting the possibility of a name change, changing the Football Association of Ireland name. Like he was talking about as an exercise in trying to re-establish trust with the Irish public.
No,
do you agree?
Well, I don't think so. No, we've been an association for nearly 100 years now. There's no need for that at all, you know. What we need to do is address the problems that we have, you know, the governance and the finance of the people need to know the truth, because nobody's prepared to give us any answers. But I think that's too radical. I think we need to change the makeup of the board so that it represents all of soccer for the good of soccer, and get the right people involved with a very professional and a CEO, or with a very professional CEO who has lots of ability.
Okay, very good.